So I've evaluated more than tens of thousands CVs, I've interviewed thousands of people and hired more than 250. In this video, I want to tell you a cool little hack that you can use to actually get in and beat an interview without having the skill set required. Now, one caveat here, this is obviously not the smartest way to get a job. The better way to get a job is to have some skills and sell them to an employer. Here, it's more like you're selling potential. And this is not going to work. You can't step into a senior coding interview and get passed without knowing any skills, without having any skills. It is just not going to work. So you can't apply this everywhere. You can only apply this to fresher roles when you're just starting out in your career and when you have no skill set and have no other options. It's not going to work 100% of the time, but when it works well. So let's assume you're completely unprepared for an interview. Okay? Maybe you're doing product. Maybe you want to apply for the product role. Maybe there's a junior product role that's opened up in a company. Now you're gone for the interview. You're sitting across the table from the interviewer, and the interviewer starts asking you product related questions. You have no answers to any of those questions. So here is step one. Pivot the basis of the interview. All interviews have a basis of skill, right? The first interview especially, not the culture interview, but the first round interview is usually about the skills that you have. Are you relevant and useful to the company? You have to pivot the interview from does this person have skills to does this person have potential. So you're going to start out by saying, hey, I need to say something. I don't have all the skills you're looking for, but I would like to learn and I would love to shadow you and I'm happy to do it for free. Basically, you're being honest and vulnerable about what you know and what you don't know. If you do know some stuff, you can mention it even without them asking. You can just mention it and then show that you really want to be taught, that you really want to be coached and you're willing to work. We have a saying here at Avalon, you can fix poor skills, but you can't fix poor attitude. If somebody has a great coachable attitude, we love that and every company loves that, right? Every company wants somebody who's willing to learn, willing to put in the effort, and you need to prove that. You need to prove the hustle. And you have to be willing to say, I'm willing to work with you guys for free, be coached as many hours as you want, as your assistant if necessary, and I will prove that I can learn product by the end of the month. Now, this is not going to work all the time. Sometimes you might just be thrown out of the interview. But all good interviewers know that in the early years of somebody's career, except maybe in like very technical roles, in the early years of people's careers, coachability is much more important than skills. Can we install the right software on this candidate is what these recruiters are thinking about all the time. Remember, the interviewer on the other side is not a robot. They're human beings. And you're appealing to empathy by saying, I'm willing to learn and I'm willing to be coachable. Now, don't be an asshole and join the company and then be lazy. Think that you got a job and be lazy. You should not do that. If you're pitching that the fact that you are coachable and you're willing to work hard, then you better go and do that. Use the opportunity you get after you get into the company to wash off all your sins in college. You haven't studied in college, you haven't got a good job, who cares? Wash it off right now. But don't, for God's sake, be lazy. Have a genuine interest in learning, and interviews can sniff that out. And if you don't, they will kick you out. And one thing to add here is that market awareness is also very important. If you go into an interview and say you're interviewing with a finance product and you have some knowledge of the finance market, which is easy to pick up. It's much easier to pick up than skills. People will like you. People will say you have a keen eye for the market. And that's also very important to a recruiter or an interviewer. So make sure you go with some information about the market. Now, I've said one thing here which a lot of people take offense to, which is be okay with working for free. See, if you see yourself as a product, imagine your 1 or 2 months that you're giving them for free. Firstly, you're learning. You've anyway spent 4 years on college doing nothing and you've paid for college. Why do you expect to be paid when you're being coached again? In fact, here you're actually getting coaching in the real world, right? So this is something that college didn't even offer you and you paid them so much money. So don't be desperate for money at this point. Think of yourself as a product and think of this as the free trial. You're giving a 1 or 2 month free trial. And if they like it, then well, they're going to continue. In that free trial, you have to prove that you're good enough. And probation, especially like startups now, have started doing a probation period because you often can't tell how a person will be in the first month. Somebody could sell you and say, oh, I'm very skilled, I'm very coachable. And then the first month in, they're sitting and watching Netflix at work. It can happen. Remember that 1 month is your arena to prove that you are actually coachable and you can actually pick up skills. That's the very important part. And if you walk away, even if they kick you out after 2 months, but you walked away with skills and market intelligence, that helps you nail the next interview. So remember that and don't ever be afraid of selling your skills for free, especially if it gives you exposure. We are in a country where there are 600 million people with a mobile phone and internet. And there are so few jobs, especially tech jobs, so few tech jobs. So anything you can do to gain attention and awareness, do it. Don't think in terms of, oh, I'm being exploited, especially if it's like a short period of time and you're benefiting from this. Because you're not going in some skills. If you're going in some skills and adding value to the company and they don't pay you, that's a crime. But if you're going in and you're being coached and you're taking those senior guys' time away from them, then I don't see how you have the leverage to negotiate a great salary for yourself. And after 2 months, 3 months, once you've proven your mettle, then ask for whatever you want. And chances are they like you, because obviously the people, the seniors in your team are human beings. If they like you, you will get paid what you're worth. That's it for me. Bye.
Don't do that, we the best coming out of BK, I thought you knew that. Step up in the function, all these women like who that. Got me looking like money, yeah, they love me, yeah, true that. Big racks, new bag, new swag, we ain't cutting no slack. Why they mad, don't do that.